On day 1, harvesters cut out these river reeds. And in 8 days, after drying, burning, and filtering, the reeds will produce one of the most expensive salts in the world. Just 1 tablespoon of river reed salt costs about $1 in Kenya. Compare that to the 4 cents it costs locals for the same amount of sea salt. So how do producers make salt from river reed? Reed salt, or chumvi ya kienyeji, is made from the reeds of the machua plant that grow along the Nzoia River. Once the salt is extracted, it's typically sold in small quantities to chefs and luxury hotel owners in Kenya and abroad. Buyers describe its saltiness as powerful and umami-like.
I buy the river reed salt because of, I will say, the magic in it. The texture is smooth. It is not rough or coarse. For those who have tasted umami from Japan, it tastes almost the same, but this one has more of a sharp taste. So when you're cooking with it, you won't use a lot of it.
Today, only the Bukuzu community in the village of Webuye continues the traditional process of making this rare salt by hand. This is the Nzoia River, and this is Andrew Wanyonyi Sikanga. Andrew and his sons harvest the reeds that grow along the riverbanks. Before they go out to harvest, Andrew starts the morning with a prayer. They pray for protection from the dangers they might encounter at the river, like snakes and crocodiles. To avoid coming into contact with them, Andrew and his sons need to harvest early.
Kwa sababu huwa nyoka zinatembea mchana kama jua inakuja, lakini asubuhi baridi iko haitembei. Sasa tunaenda huko kwa sababu ya hiyo vitu bado ingali kwa mashimo.
Today, they're looking for ripe river reeds.
Bila iko hivi ni mrefu kuliko kama sasa hii ni kitoko. Tunalingana. Sasa hii iko na chumvi. Lakini bado changa, hakuna chumvi. Ndio sasa tunaangalia kwa urefu wa chumvi yenyewe. Ndio nilikuwa nasema 2 meters kwenda juu. Lakini kama iko hivi tunaiacha.
If the reed isn't at least 2 meters tall and the flowers at the top aren't wilted and nearly dried, the concentration of salt will be too low. Andrew hacks away at the ripe reeds, being careful not to uproot the plant or cut too close to the roots. That way, the reeds can regrow more quickly, and the roots can continue to spread onto other rocks. Only reeds with a high salt content make the effort worth it, because from them, Andrew can make enough salt to sell.
Alafu iko ni riski. Alafu saa zingine nini kikuja namna hivi, maji kikuja inakuja na uchafu, lakini kikuja na miiba kama vile imekuwa hapa namna hivi. Hata ikifika hapa hivi usipochunga vizuri, ukianza kukata kumbe umeshika miiba alafu na kutunga. Au saa zingine unajikata hivi vile huyu amejikata hapa saa hii. Sasa hiyo ni changamoto ya hapa.
Though there was a mild injury, today's harvest was a good one. After a long day of navigating the waters of the Nzoia River, Andrew and his sons leave the riverbank with a lot of reeds.
Wa Februari. Sasa hii ndio tumepata na ingine pato ingali iko nyumbani. Tumefurahia leo. Hapa yote vile iko hivi nikichoma itaweza kuwa kama gramu 200 hivi. Hapa itaweza kuwa vijiko gramu 200, vijiko 20.
Those 20 tablespoons will sell for about $20. Now they can begin the long manual process of extracting salt. First, Andrew must dry the reeds. Drying reeds can take 4 days when the skies are sunny, but in cloudier weather, it'll take longer. To begin processing, he has to burn the reeds for 1 to 3 days. Once all the reeds turn to ash, Andrew places them in a large pot with drainage holes. Then he slowly adds water. The water filters through the ashes and holes, each drop collecting at the bottom. he pours those droplets through another filter and into an aluminum pan. Next, he places the pan over an open fire, where the solution is left to boil until the liquid evaporates. Finally, after a full day of work, Andrew is left with this wet, salty paste. The next day, he packs the paste into banana leaves and places them under hot ashes to dry. After 3 hours, the salt hardens. From reed to salt, the process takes at least 8 days. Andrew will sell the salt in the banana leaves. This is the same long process his family has practiced for generations.
Sasa hii miaka 20 na kwa kupata vile walikuwa wanatengeneza, baba wangu ndiye alikuwa anatengeneza, alafu nami nikajifunza kutoka kwa baba yangu mzazi.
It's believed the tradition began in the 17th century when the Bakuzu people migrated eastward from Congo. At the time, areas in western Kenya were cut off from salt routes. So they set out to find a way to extract salt from these aquatic plants. Centuries later, the salt that was made out of necessity became a pricey commodity. At the market, this pack containing just 3 tablespoons of river reed salt costs about $3, and this larger pack, $7. It's likely to sell because local demand is high. Buyers know the intense work put into making this salt, so for them, the price is worth it. Although there aren't studies to confirm it, market sellers say that part of what keeps the salt in high demand locally is the belief it has special medicinal properties. But the most notable feature is its taste. In fact, Andrew's river reed salt won the title for most unique indigenous salt at an international gastronomy exhibition in Italy in 2014. Slow Food, one of the organizers of the exhibition, established a presidium in 2009 for Kenya's river reed salt to drive more demand for the product. But fulfilling that demand would require more supply, which is difficult when production is so limited. One of the biggest threats to river reed salt production is climate change. According to Slow Food, the growing population in Kenya has led to deforestation. Indigenous trees along the Nzoia River have long held soil particles together and provided shade, keeping temperatures stable. But the loss of these trees, along with higher temperatures, unstable river levels, and landslides, has contributed to the loss of river reeds. Andrew tried growing the reeds with other water sources, but couldn't get the same outcome.
Hapo hata mbeleni nilikuwa nimekumbuka hiyo, alafu nikapandako huku nyumbani. Na vile nilipanda nyumbani ikakua, ikafika mahali namna hivi. Na nikileta maji nyingine ya kunyunyiza inaenda chini. Lakini nikichukua maji ya Nzoia inafurahi, inaenda juu. Lakini tu mradi maji ya Nzoia peke yake. Nimefanya hiyo utafiti, maji nyingine inakata.
In addition to conservation efforts like replanting indigenous trees, Slow Food is working on creating more marshy areas for the reeds to grow.
Since the river reed salt really does well with the waters from the river, we were thinking that if we try a little bit to divert some of these water from the river and have a marshy area plus some of the rocks, we can actually try to see whether we can increase the number of reeds, because I know that as the people continue knowing about this particular salt, there will be high demand.
This project, along with increased commercial exposure of river reed salt, hopes to help producers like Andrew and his sons keep their work alive for generations to come.